picking up where I left off in that last Jordan Poole video, we need contrast. We need different ends of the spectrum in art, in basketball, in fandom. And when we talk about our teams, there's drastic ends of it. I tend to be a pessimist. You guys know that, right? And to my optimistic fans, look, we need you. Again, we need that contrast. I do think it's funny, though, how some of you, there's the crowd that's always like, you're making too big of a deal of it. It's not that deep. I'm not worried, right? We all have that friend, and maybe you are them. And again, we need you, right, to balance it out. But we all have that friend who's a fan, Niners, Warriors, whoever it is, where they're always like, they're going to be good. It's not that big of a deal, right? And then you got people like me who are always kind of probably overanalyzing each situation. But then again, that's what I do, right? And so I will point out, it's easier to be an optimist because this happens with my daughter all the time where when Warriors are down, she's always like, they're going to come back. They're going to win. She's the ultimate optimist. Part of that is that's all she's known with the Warriors is dominance. So she really believes it, right? Whereas me, it'll be second quarter. I'm all like, I ain't winning tonight. This is trash. This is trash, right? When they do eventually come back and win, she gets to gloat. I told you, right? So there's more glory in being an optimist because when I'm right and they don't come back, I'm not going to rub it in her face because I'm already mad they lost. You know what I mean? So there's that. But again, the benefit of being the pessimist is probably that I get to talk about more things. There's more things to complain about. All right, enough of that little monologue. What's the truth? What's the truth? And I know before someone is already typing in the comments, you know nothing about this. This is what I see. This is what I think. It starts with Klay Thompson. It starts with Klay. Klay's statue's already built. It's not erected yet. Pause. But it's already built. We know that, right? For years and years, the approach with Klay and the team has always kind of been, well, you got to let Klay be Klay, right? He's a different breed. It appears they take a hands-off approach with Klay, right? It's like, well, Klay forgot there was practice. It's Klay. Like Klay, he gets, it's Klay. Again, back to that likability factor, right? But he's also marches to his own beat, right? And we all understand that. But that's not working out anymore. Things change. Situations change. And the team dynamic doesn't allow for that anymore. And without beating around the bush, basically it appears like they're not holding Klay accountable. And what I just got done saying is I don't think they really ever have. But it's worked out, one, because they've been so dominant and because Klay was an elite two-way player. So it just worked out. The talent that Klay is and the talent around him, they could let Klay go be Klay. They can't do that anymore. They've got to hold Klay accountable, man. Because what do you think Jordan Poole, Moses Moody, Jonathan Kuminga, they're being told every day, hey, be patient, be disciplined. You've got to learn the Warrior way, right? You got to learn how to win. We got to do this. And then they watch Klay out there whipping his shit around like a helicopter on both ends of the floor. Just no regard for anybody. Comes walking and nothing said to him. Hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe behind closed doors, they're on his neck about it. You believe that? I don't, right? I don't think so, right? They kind of let Klay be Klay. Can't do that anymore. Things change. You got half the roster, 21 years old, being held on a real tight leash, trying to teach them the game, and they're just letting Klay chuck shots. And so here's the other part about this. The good news is people are going to say, well, listen, Klay, he's only played 60 games. He's going to get better physically. Maybe. He probably will, right? But the problem is a lot of the issue that at least I'm seeing is his mental approach to the game. Look, we understand he's not going to be able to stay in front of De'Aaron Fox or Malik Monk anymore. He's at 30 plus. Who can? What 30-year-old can? So I'm not even holding that against him. It's the mental errors on both ends of the floor that, frankly, like at the end of that Kings game, I'll be all the way real with you. I was uncomfortable with him on the floor in crunch time. I thought he was going to put up just a terrible shot or cause or take a terrible foul, which he did, but he got away with, right? And so I get it. They're caught between a rock and a hard spot here because the cachet, the clout that Klay has built, the legend that is Game 6 Klay, a lot of you are going to say, hey, shut up, Alk. He's earned this. He can do this the rest of his career. Is that right for the team? Is that right for the team? This whole thing has been built around Steph Curry and his unselfishness as a superstar. But you're going to go let Klay do whatever he wants on the floor without any repercussions? Again, what message does that send to the young Warriors? And so it's always a bunch of little things that stack up to issues, right? And I was listening to the guys on 97 The Game, and they called it spiritually broken. Spiritually, chemistry, the vibes, as the young kids say, that I don't like the energy, right? It's not, we can point to the defense. We know that's an issue. That's the on-court actual execution is an issue. But bigger picture, I think we all can sense, like, where's the joy, right? There's not as much chemistry. I know you all saw the footage of the bench when Steph put that game away the other night, and everybody's like, damn. You see Kent Bazemore thirsty as hell. He's like underappreciated bench. Anyway, I'm going to leave Ken alone. I'm going to leave Kenny Blaze alone. But so we're all feeling like there's all these chemistry issues. What's wrong with Jordan Poole? He looks down. The young guys are feeling slighted. They're not getting enough time. You know what I mean? Meanwhile, Klay just has the longest runway ever. And it's like, I get it. We get you get why Kerr can't pull him out just because it'll cause a bigger media storm to do so. But again, if we want to tell the truth, the reality is right now, Klay's time should be cut back. He needs to be held accountable to send a message to everybody on the team to reestablish the pecking order. Look, Steph, it doesn't count, right? We know the plus, everything about it. Steph doesn't have to be held accountable. That's what's so magnificent about him as a superstar and a leader. But everyone else down, I don't care if it's Wiggins, I don't care if it's Draymond. Like, if you're not playing well, in comes the next guy. And what that's going to do is, I think, reform the trust and bond between the team. Trust that, hey, if I'm doing the right thing, I'll get my opportunity. And it starts with holding Klay Thompson accountable. So when you say mental errors, Al, because like, I think a lot of people focus on the physical because it's more obvious. So they're like, oh, he's not able to stay in front of his defender. He's missing his shots, right? He's not shooting well. But why? Right? And, you know, you look at young De'Aaron Fox with the Kings the other night, and they said, well, he's jumped his three-point percentage up 10%. And I'm looking at it, and I don't think he's really, there's maybe been some slight tweaks to his mechanics, but I don't really think so. It's his mental approach that's changed, that's allowed him to be more efficient. Now in year 6 for him, he's recognized what's a good three for him and what's not, right? And when it's going to take place. Hey, they're going under this. Let me not fire off this screen. Let me just stop short, get my balance, and shoot this three. And that's what I'm talking about with Klay, is the mental approach. Whether he gets, I think physically, he's all right now. Right? Again, for his age, he's fine because he's big enough. It's not the physical, it's the mental. It's coming down and launching full speed off balance threes in crunch time. And then defensively, he's just, I know I've already talked about it, but I'm going to keep talking about it until hopefully someone says something to it till he fixes it. Because don't get it twisted. I'm still rooting for Klay. Don't get it twisted. But, you know, the team, they put him on for years and years and years. They put him on ball one because he was really good, right? He just, his motor and his length and strength. But it was also, I think, to hide the fact of how poor of a team defender he is. And it has to do with focus. Focus. A lot of the time when his man is a screener off the ball, he just doesn't do anything. He doesn't show, he doesn't hedge, he doesn't give the guy a little bump. You've got to help your teammate who's trying to fight under or over that screen or switch, right? A lot of the time he just stands there and he looks, oh, damn, you just got smoked. Like, I'm on mine. And then the thing that drives me the most crazy is losing your man in the corner. It's one thing above the break or at the wing. You're helping down on the weak side, and then you get back and they've made a cut or they've drifted. When your man's in the corner, he's in the corner. And he'll turn around. The closeouts. Again, this is focus. It's not so much physical. And so maybe that's overall a good thing, right? Because that can definitely get better. The physical, I'm not so sure. It might be what it is. But the mental can get there. But he's going to have to take a different approach to the game. Some of you are probably going to say, hey, and that's where, get into this Jordan Poole. I was talking about him slowing down and less is more and stuff like that. But it definitely does seem like something is weighing over him heavier than that, right? He's in a funk for sure. And we all know the incident that happened. I'm sure there's all these little elements of it. But again, he just got paid. He's supposed to break out. He's supposed to be this guy. And he has to sit behind Klay, who is a legend, we know, and watch him just not be held accountable. I get it. Poole's not great at defense either. But, it's got to be, they got to be held accountable. It's as simple as I can say it. And then it dawned on me. I was like, Klay, this guy's unbelievable. I figured it out. Klay has sacrificed his defense to help Steph Curry's offense. Think about it. It's brilliant. Klay has been so bad defensively, teams no longer even go at Steph on the defensive end. They're calling up Klay every time. And so Steph gets to chill on defense, and look what he's been doing. 47, 36, 34. Is he averaging the most points he ever has in his career? It's got to be up there right now. Now I'm talking shit, right? It's tongue in cheek. But isn't that a weird unintended consequence? But look, Steph's a god. I'm done trying to explain this at his age, right? But there's a little element of that, right? Like, think about it. Steph's no longer getting attacked and called up in these switches and these pick and rolls. It's Klay. And so Steph, we don't want him to have to use this much juice offensively. It's unacceptable, really, long term. But I think in part, he's a little fresher offensively because they're not going at him on defense. And that is a testament to how much better he's got. But it's more so speaks to where Klay's at right now defensively. And so, it's a tough situation for Kerr trying, you keep hearing this, the two timelines, it can't happen. And the young guy, like, there's plenty of blame to go around everywhere, man. But again, I think that it would start with that. When you look at not getting what you want out of the young guys and even JaMychal Green and some of these guys, you got to hold them all accountable down the line. And that's the start of it. I'm not saying it's going to solve the issues right away, but I think that can start to be the chemistry and the bonding. But we'll see, man. I think they have a chance here. Cleveland comes in Friday, right? And then what are they, 9-2, 8-2 or something like that? It's a chance to make a statement against a hot young team, right? And say, hey, okay, we still got it, and you got to flash it. I'm not holding my breath. It'll be interesting. Wiseman DNP against Sacramento. They're going to give Kuminga some run. They're giving Lamb a lot of run. But you see this Cleveland team boasts twin towers in Mobley and Allen. They're big, right? Love off the bench. On paper, it would be a matchup to play Wiseman. So I'm curious to see how dynamic Kerr will be with these young guys. Hit that like, share, and subscribe. I'm out, y'all.